Welcome back to the DFS Sweatshop. I am your host, the DFS Jerusalem, and you can follow me, of course, on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. Today, we're going to be breaking down a little bit of what happened on Sunday's slate. Looking forward to Mondays, giving that a good look over. Also, we're going to be jumping into just a lot of what happened, man. As you know, just got back from the MIA, had a very, very nice trip, man. It was wonderful. Actually, it was one of the most enjoyable experiences of my life. Like, it was dope. Like, it was, I mean, like, bar none, it was like one of the most fun experiences I've ever had in my life. If you live in Miami, bro, I know you've got to love it. It was so dope. Chris Gray, what's happening, man? Jeremy Ladd. Yeah, man. First time, yo, I'm playing NASCAR. I got a free roll to NASCAR. I had a really solid MLB lineup. I just one shot, one kill, went out and did well with it. So I'm very happy about that. Josh, dude, you know I missed you, baby. Good to see you, man. Yo, I gotta tell you, FanDuel is a first class organization. I mean, I got to chop it up with so many cats, man. And it was funny because when we got there, people really didn't recognize me at first. But as we got into it, people were like, yo, you the dude, da. So it was cool. It was cool. And it was all capped off by a gentleman, man. He is the guy that invented NBA In Play, the app, which is a really dope app. We got to use it while we were inside of the live final. First, big shout out to Sam McGlure, the big homie. He's the reason why I got there. Took me along with him for the ride, man. That was very dope. Very, very gracious of that dude, man. That was solid. That was solid. So, and I got a chance to chop it up with a lot of NBA execs. We talked a lot with Alonzo Mourning. We talked a lot with, of course, the homie White Chocolate. Oh my God, that was dope. Gary Payton was there, so it was dope. I had a great time, man. And the guy that created the NBA In Play app pulled me to the side and says, "Yo, everybody's talking about you. I see you got the hat on with your logo and your shirts and everything. You do the show on YouTube, right?" I was like, "Yeah." He said, "Well, here, take my card. Next season, when we do NBA In Play, we're gonna do some business." So he wants me to contact him. That's dope. That's a big door that could be opened up for us here in the shop. So I'm definitely happy about that. Then the president of global marketing for the NBA was also there in attendance. His name is Ed Winkle, a very solid cat. Let me tell you something about this dude, man. You know, a lot of times when we live in our lives, our daily lives, guys like us, guys who just do the right thing, we wake up in the morning, we go out, we try to work hard, take care of our families, and we seem to can't get ahead. We just can't seem to really get ahead. So we look around us and we see the guy that's taking the shortcuts, doing people wrong, shitting on people, probably cheating on his wife, dirty motherfucker. And he goes out and you see him, he's balling, he's getting ahead. You know what I mean? And this weekend showed me that it's not just I'm not the only one that's trying to do the right thing as a regular guy, because people that represented the group were cats who were from all over, like all over Middle America, East Coast, West Coast, everybody, and they were all good people, man. It was one of the greatest groups they said that they ever had come through there, man. And I thought it was gonna be some sharks and some dicks and douches, but it wasn't even like that, bro. It was a very, very nice time, and I really enjoyed it, man. And they had it planned perfectly, from the shoot around where you saw the guru knocking down the jump shot, okay, from the shoot around to the live final the first night where we got to see this was me and Sammy. We talked a lot about this, man, and the LeBron fade was okay. We faded LeBron, but what really got him was IT2 getting hurt, and that really hurt him. So he ended up finishing 12 out of 30, so that's not bad. And we really felt like just the trip itself, man, was just awesome. We really felt like the trip itself was just awesome. So shout out to the homie, man. She won, actually. Mackenzie Foth, very solid person, man. She won, and she's gonna be going to, I think, Cleveland to watch LeBron and probably the Golden State Warriors. So that was very dope. That was very dope, man. It was an excellent trip, man. But gotta tell you, okay, so funny story. All right, so Sammy and I, man, we click really well. You know, of course, he's a sweatshop member, does a lot, you know what I'm saying, really repped the shop in his winning, repped him so much that he invited me along for the trip. So we had a very long day after the first night of the live final, okay? Yo, Sammy, and she schooled us on the court, too. We played a game of knockout, or they played a game of knockout, and she won the knockout game, too. So we go out. The live final was really nice, man. Had a great time. It was getting kind of late, so we're like, yo, I'm gonna go ahead and walk back to the hotel because the hotel was like across the street, but it was like a 9-minute drive in Miami, right? So I go back to the hotel and I'm hanging out there for a little while. Sam comes back to the room, and we're planning on maybe stepping out, checking out some of the nightlife in South Beach. You know what I'm saying? Going out, having a good time. So I'm chilling, looking at some lineups and stuff. And Sam comes in, and gets on his side of his bed, on his side of the room, and he's like, "Yeah, man, we're gonna go out just a while." So I'm looking at my phone for a second, and I glance over, and Sammy is done. Like, he is asleep. It is over for Sammy. So I'm like, you know what? I'm getting up. I'm going out. I'm in Miami. I'm going to South Beach. I've never been to South Beach before. I'm gonna go have a good time. So I say, cool. So we had a rent-a-car, because I had a rent-a-car. So I go down, get the valet, tip the valet, bam, get the rent-a-car, go out, and I say, yo, go to South Beach. So I go to South Beach, drive around for 30 minutes looking for a park. I end up paying $10 to park, so I'm cool with that. So now I'm just absorbing everything, soaking it in. It's activity, it's movement. Everybody's there. It's electric. It's dope. I'm going in and out of little bars and spots. The guru don't drink, but I'm still just taking in the scenery and enjoying everything, right? So I'm walking by this one club, and there were two of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life. And they're like, yo, you got to get in here. This club is the shit. This is a strip club. You got to come in here. Come on. I know you look like you're from out of town. You want to see some strippers. You want to see some titties. Come on in here, right? I mean, beautiful women, right? Beautiful women. So I get in the club, and they rush me to this little window, like, yo, pay here. You pay $20 to get in, and then you got to get some ones, because you need ones. If you don't have ones, you can't tip the stripper, so you got to get just ones. I was like, all right, cool. I had a couple $100 bills on me, so I go ahead, bam. Give her a $100 bill. She gives me a stack of ones. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm about to go see some titties. I know I have a wife. I love my wife. I have a ring. I'm not going to do anything. I just want to go to the strip club and have a good time, right? Bam. So I'm in the strip club. I walk in there. I sit down, front stage, center row. And I'm an old player. I know what to do. I know how. The first thing you need to do when you go to the strip club is you mark your territory, okay? That means you take your few ones, maybe 10, 15, and you throw them up and lace them on the dance floor. That's how you get strippers to come over to you. So there's this one stripper, pretty cute girl. She's on a pole, slipping and sliding up and down the pole, right? So I'm like, all right, cool. She's gonna come over here because I just threw out the 15 to 21s on the stage, right? So she gets off the pole, walks up to me, and she starts gyrating, like showing me the frontal. I'm like, all right, cool. So I look up, and she's right there in front of me. I'm like, damn, somebody must have tipped her with like a roll of quarters or something. Shit. So I look. I'm looking again, so I look around. I'm like, damn, she must have got a roll of quarters tipped too. So I'm looking around. She got a roll of dimes in her G-string. And she's like, wait a minute. These chicks have dicks. I got the fuck up out of there so quick. And I still got my ones, baby. I didn't know. Hell yeah. It was a transgender strip club, bro. It was a transgender strip club, bro. Oh my god. It was nuts. Yo, I backed up out of that bitch so quick. Yo, crazy. Roll of quarters everywhere, right? Crazy, bro. Oh my god. So that's how my night ended. I got in the car, went back to the room, told Sammy what story, and went to bed. And that was it. And I was done for that night. Next night, we went out, had a really great time. All of us there, we were good. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Craziness. Crazy. And you know what? No slouch, no side to the LGBT community. Love those people, really great people, nothing wrong with that. And see, that's the beautiful thing about Manny, is because no matter whatever you want to get into, bro, it's there for you. If you like the chicks with the dicks, go get them. It is all good. So now let us go ahead and jump into my ones. I still got my ones. All right, let's go ahead and jump into today's today's slate. Cause we gotta let's talk about a little bit about what happened last night, because there was some good shit that happened yesterday, and I know you probably saw on Twitter where went out, one shot, one kill, single bullet, bro. Was able to really have a solid day. Ended up 43 times my buy-in. That is always good, man. That was dope. ended up 43 times my buy-in, and that was nice. I had a really good day today, and you know that's gonna happen. It's gonna happen from time to time. You stick to the strategy, you stay with it, and you're definitely gonna show out and cash out. And that's what happened to me. It was one point in the day where, bro, I was like second in the tournament, like 2,500 in this tournament, blah blah blah, all together like over $3,000. You know what I mean? And I ended up taking like 300, I think it was, and I got a couple of tickets. One is a ticket to the $33 buy-in for a golf tournament, and I'm definitely gonna be showing up for the class that the homies teach on Wednesday. I'm talking about Seth Rudnick, the big homie, Dexter Pope, D Pope 919 on Twitter. Also, the 100 Band Clan is going to be up in there. I know Andrew Pierce is going to be up in that piece. So we're definitely going to be getting it in golf. And I also won a NASCAR tournament, so I'm going to be looking at Kenny Ladd for a little bit of information. So that's going to be a very solid week for me. That was a very solid day for me. It's going to be a really nice week, so I'm looking forward to that. Now to tell you about the lineup that I had. I woke up and I was like, you know what? I looked at it a little bit. I said, you know what? I like Arrieta in the spot. I'm going to try to fit him in. And I also love Toronto pitching. So those are two guys that I had locked in. And kind of the only way that I could afford those guys and have a roster that I was kind of happy with was to stack some Cubs that I could and to pay down in a lot of spots for the Los Angeles Angels. And that was dope. I mean, that was a very solid stack. The Angels Cubs stack, just about everybody who was at the top had them. What separated me a lot was the fact that I didn't go Archer. Most people went Archer, but I had that pitching combination from Toronto and from Chicago that really helped me out. So that was my day, and it was very good, and I've got a little bit to play with, so we are going to continue on in that fashion. So we've got 9 games coming up for today's slate, man. Kicks off at 7:05. That's going to be really solid. Now, and looking at the arcade as well, we've got just two versions of the arcade. You got a 2-game arcade at 8:05. You got the early one, the main slate at 7:05, so you can get into that if you like. I have not really been too hard on the arcades lately. I just don't like them. I think it's a way. I think that they know that we figured out how to win on the main slates and the regular stuff, so they had to throw that arcade curveball at us. So you can participate in it if you like, man. I may throw 1 or 2 in there from time to time, but I'm not going hard on that arcade, man. It's just too much for me. It's just too much of a crapshoot. I think maybe one strategy you might want to use is look at who had a home run last night, and then based on what you think about that guy, either play him the next night or don't play him, play the guy next to him. I don't know. It's a joke. It really is. The arcade thing is crazy. I can't get with it. It's just not for me. And I would advise playing it at all outside of single entry tournaments. Like single entry, maybe you have a shot, but when it comes to the maximum entries, like no, I can't do the arcade stuff. So that's just not for me. All right, so we do have that 9-game slate. Let's go ahead and see what the first class is about. What the first class is about is for us to take a look, a kind of an in-depth look at pitching, because we know that we can completely ascertain who the pitching is going to be on today's slate. Like we know pretty much who's going to be pitching, but we don't know batting orders, and that's why it's so important if you are not a part of the DFS Sweatshop. And I'm talking about not just in name or going to the website to check out Guru's Guys, which just went up. Very solid article we got in there. You join us, man, in the Slack chat. Join us in the Facebook VIP, because the line drive at 5, once those lineups have been completely verified and solidified, that's when we go in and we talk about our stacks. We talk about the one-off plays that we like, and we also get an even better, tighter look at our pitching prospects for that particular slate. So do yourself a favor, man. If you're looking to get better at MLB, come fuck with us, man. 50 cents a day, half a cup of coffee, baby. 50 cents a day. You know what I mean? And also, Sammy really wanted me to impress upon y'all, man. This is a solid piece of information that he's passing along. Is you got to take a look at that free stuff, man. The way we got to Miami was on a free tournament. Play those free tournaments. Play them, and get crazy with it. Because those are the lineups that really, really, have the most bang for your buck, where you can really just shoot the top off. So get into that free stuff, man, whether it's on FanDuel or DraftKings. But I've got to say, FanDuel, first class operation, man. I talked to Mr. Winkle, Ed Winkle from the NBA, and we talked a little bit about the state of DFS. You know, the way it's going as far as being legalized in most states and regulated the way it is, and you know, the NBA, you know, being such a huge like figure in American sports culture, you know what I'm saying, them jumping behind or getting behind FanDuel, getting behind DraftKings kind of bodes well for the future of fantasy sports, because I know a lot of you are like me, you don't want this thing to go away. You really don't. So you most definitely take advantage of this window of opportunity that we have, man, to really have some fun and play some great tournaments, whether it be FanDuel or DraftKings. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. What you're going to see here is going to be the season average stats. You see that the total right there to the right by each player. That's going to be the season average that we have on them so far. All right. Any word on DFS in Texas? Yo, I asked him about that, and he shook his head. He was like, "We're fighting. We're trying to get it FanDuel in Texas," because he was a FanDuel representative. He's like, "Yeah, we're trying to get it done, man." But you know, so I don't know about Texas, bro. But I think there was a vote that just took place, so maybe it does work out. I hope it does, man, because there's no reason why we shouldn't have, you know, FanDuel or whatever, everything. Yeah, it's still a limbo in Texas. It is. It really is. So, all right, so let's take a look, man. First game we got on the slate is going to be the Minnesota Twins and the Baltimore Orioles. This is a 10% chance of very light rain, 76% humidity, 3-mile-per-hour wind shooting out toward left field. On the mound, we've got Kyle Gibson and Ubaldo Jimenez. Now, yo, I'm going to tell you right now, Jimenez is my early Shelly candidate. Like, if I had to pick one guy who's going to get shelled the fuck out, it would definitely be Jimenez in the spot. You look at, you know, it being a batter's park, very friendly for batters. I love a lot. I love a lot about Minnesota in the spot. You take a look at Brian Dozier, excellent BVP. Just take a look down the line, man. Excellent plays that you can find from the Minnesota side. I will be stacking them to a degree, but I would love to blow up Ubaldo Jimenez in the spot at 6.1. I've got no issue there. Taking a look over his last few games, we're talking 4.17, -1, 2, 23, -4, 4.95, and he hasn't been terrible enough for everybody to attack him. But for me and for us that are a little more seasoned and can really get a read on when a guy is going to get shelled, I think he's in perfect Shelly position. I really do, and that's going to lead me to like quite a few of those Minnesota bats. Okay. Now, some more like advanced like stuff. Okay, this dude has given up 8 home runs. He leads the league in home runs given up to left-handed pitching as a right-handed batter. So that's 8 for him. He also leads the league in WOBA against left-handed batters. So that's going to tell you a few guys that you might want to get in your lineups from the Minnesota side. So very solid Shelly prospect we got here in a 9.5 run total. Kyle Gibson at 5.2. Not a guy that I want to take advantage of. I also think that we can take a shot at some of those Baltimore bats in this spot. No questions asked. Looking at Kyle Gibson, man, I think in his starts, man, horrible. First game, 11.05 points. But then, I mean, after that, man, it's been a shit show for him so far. And I don't think he pitches a lot of innings at all. So this is definitely a stackable offense, a stackable game. And I would implore you to take advantage of a lot of the bats on this side, most certainly. Minnesota mostly power from the right side. That's true. And yo, Jimenez sucks as a righty too, against righties too. He's just bad. He's just bad. But even more so against lefties. All right. Next game we got is the Kansas City Royals and my New York Yankees. 7-mile-per-hour wind going out towards shallow left field, right in the infield. We've got 62% chance of light rain. This game does have a possibility of delaying and or raining out. The Royals projected at 3.8 runs in the spot. You got the Yankees projected at 4.6. We've got Jason Hamill and Michael Pineda. Now, something that I want you to take a look at, man, is you know, Pineda struggles in some spots against a few of the Kansas City Royals bats. And at 10.5, I think people are going to be on that and not really want to play Pineda as much as possible. Plus, when you got Greinke on the slate, a guy who's been, you know, pitching out of his mind, you know, I see Greinke being one of the higher owned pitching prospects on the slate because he's only 12K. He's not only 12K, but I mean as the highest salary guy on DraftKings as far as pitching goes, I don't think that you're like, oh my God, why is Greinke 12K? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not a super high price for the highest pitcher on the slate. So I really think that, you know, Pineda's going to go very underlooked. And the 8-run total, this game is projected for that 8 runs. I got to look a little bit closer, man. I mean, a few guys that do hit Pineda very well are going to be in the rotation for the Kansas City Royals. So, you know, this can go either way for me. In my opinion, if you're not playing Pineda, you should be attacking him with some of those Royals bats. That's just how good Pineda is and how good the Royals have been against Pineda. If you're not playing them, you should be attacking them. And if you're not playing Kansas City Royals, then you should have some Pineda somewhere in your lineups. As my estimation, certainly. All right, so looking at Jason, well, and let's open it up. Let's take a look at Michael Pineda, man. All right, 16, 18, 18, 28, 13, 23, 47. So the last time against Kansas City, he scored 16.1 fantasy points. Now that's not horrible. It's not horrible, and he hasn't been bad in any game, like just completely bad, you know, since the first game of the season. So, I mean, that's why he's a guy that can go either way. That's why he's a guy that can go either way. So, if you're not playing Pineda, I think you should be attacking him. Taking a look at Jason Hamill here. Let's be sure that we got Hamill there for. There's a lot of times. See, we got Vargas. Vargas is the pitcher, not Hamill. Vargas is pitching at 7.7. You know what? I'm not playing pitchers against my Yankees, man. The Yankees bats have been pretty hot lately. They are definitely a team that can hit, you know, for that power. We take a look at them where they are here. The Yankees sort of have become a little bit undisciplined at the plate at a 22.4% K rate here. So that's not like great there. You've also got, as far as a team WOBA, they're second in team WOBA at 350. That's very good. Right behind that, well, actually tied for first with the Washington Nationals in this spot. And then that team ISO, man, is 6th in the league at 184. So it's going to be very tough, in my opinion, to play Vargas against these guys. It's a very ballsy play. It's a very ballsy. If it works out, I'm sure you're going to be in the minority when it comes to ownership on Vargas. So that's definitely a way that you could look if you wanted to be contrarian. But it's not something that I really like. As a matter of fact, if I think that Vargas is going to be like a chalky play against the Yankees, then I'm going to play more Yankees. That's what I'm going to do. So there it is. All right, so we got this game on the slate is going to be the Colorado Rockies and the Philadelphia Phillies. And you know what? I don't want you to forget that what we just talked about. I don't want you to forget that game could be in danger of delaying and raining out. So, you know, think about that as well. Next game we got is the Colorado Rockies and the Philadelphia Phillies. 88% humidity here, 5-mile-per-hour wind going out toward left field. It's going to be 71 degrees with a 53% chance of light rain. But as you can see, there's no delay. There's no delay here, delay or rain out. So maybe we could take a look at a lot of these guys. Let's make sure that we're going to have who they're saying. We got Eckhoff and Hoffman is who we've got. Perfect. All right, so we got Jared Eckhoff at 6.9 against the Colorado Rockies. Jeff Hoffman at 6.3. Some of the Rockies really didn't deliver yesterday on Sunday. But you know, playing Eckhoff against those guys, and he's priced down at 6.9. That's not a bad price for Eckhoff. Taking a look in an 8.5 run total over his last few games: 20, -4, 10, 1.5, 20. Not much that I like. Now against Texas, man, that was pretty good. A good score against Texas in Texas, and you know that's a lot of power there. You know, Texas is a team that strikes out a lot. I think Colorado Rockies are a little bit more disciplined when you talk about their at the plate. Well, actually, they're 6th in the league in K rate at 23.1%. You might want to take a look at that. 172 ISO, 325 WOBA. That's probably toward the top 10 in the league. So this is something that you can take a look at here. Most definitely. Take a look at some of those Rockies bats. All right, so we've got on the other side. So that's going to take me off of Eckhoff. I don't like him. You look at Jeff Hoffman here at 6.3. Not a play that I'm particularly interested in. We know the Phillies are a much better team at home. While coming from Josh Dewey, just threw that out. Very good point. at home, man, you see the Phillies are a much better team at home. That would take me off of any semblance of playing Jeff Hoffman in the spot. I would not do it. As a matter of fact, give me some of those lefties or switch hitters from the Philadelphia Phillies, man. We're going to take a look at that deeper tomorrow in the line drive at 5 when we lay out our stacks. Okay? Next game we got is the Cleveland Indians and the Cincinnati Reds. Of course, in this spot, we're going to make sure that we've got the right guys here. Josh Tomlin and Scott Feldman. I like the Reds tomorrow. I really do. I don't want to touch pitching in this game at all. You got a 9-run total, 0% chance of rain, 2-mile-per-hour wind, going out towards shadow left field, 70 degrees there, 52% humidity. Tomlin and Feldman. I don't want any of these guys. I like both offenses in this spot. I really think we can take a shot at the Reds, man. Give me all the Reds lefties. Schebler hit a jack yesterday. Really solid power guy. I like a lot about the Cincinnati Reds. They're going to be probably one of my favorite stacks, unless something changes. So I do like those Cincinnati Reds guys a lot. And the Indians are the Indians. They could blow up at any time. Against Scott Feldman, take a look at him over his last few games. -1, 10, 35 against San Francisco, -3. So this dude is like extremely volatile. It's been very up, very down. And I think that playing some Cleveland Indians can definitely do well for you. Of course, Josh Tomlin over his last few, -0.95 against Tampa, 25 against Minnesota, 17 against KC, -15 against the Chicago White Sox. Ooh, that hurts. That hurts. So this is not a guy that I'm particularly interested in either. And I like both bats in the spot. I really do. I think we can rock anywhere. Next game we got is the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim and the Tampa Bay Rays. We've got Jake Odorizzi on the mound at 8.3 and JC Ramirez at 7.3. And the biggest question you got to ask yourself when it comes to this game, it's an 8-run total, okay? The biggest question I want you to ask yourself is, have we seen a different Angels lineup, a different Angels order when it comes to Cameron Maybin leading off? Because since he's been leading off, bro, they have been playing a lot better as a unit. We've seen a lot more of the pressure being taken off Mike Trout. He's able to sit back, hang, wait on the right pitch, and drive it over the wall. We've seen Andrelton Simmons have some pretty decent games lately. So, I kind of think that the Angels are trying to turn a corner somewhat. And Jake Odorizzi, although being a guy that I do like to roster a lot of times, I don't think that I'm going to have much exposure to him in this spot against the Angels. I really don't. There was a time during the season, man, recently, we were like, Trout's the only one that's going to hit the ball. So, fuck it. Don't play anybody but Trout. You know what I mean? Tampa at home versus a righty. Yeah. So that's something that we've been thinking about is, can we play the Angels now? And I think we kind of can, man. I think they've kind of turned a corner, especially with Maybin leading off, man, because that dude. And let's talk about this some, okay? All right. Pitching or batting in MLB. If you see the guy in front of you, you batting in the 2-hole, and you see the guy in front of you, the smaller guy, speed guy, just rake on whoever the starting pitcher is. That is definitely a boost to your confidence when you're coming up next, second. And if you see the second guy rake, get a hit, and now you got 2 guys on, no outs, and you're in the 3-hole, you're Mike Trout. Like you're looking at I'm better than the 2 guys that just smoked line drives on you. My confidence is up. I'm gonna hit the shit. You know what I mean? So definitely, confidence is a major key to batting in MLB, and I think this team is a very high confidence team right now, batting very well, really solid matchups. I think they do have. So I'm good. I'm good with a few of the Angels bats in the spot. I really am. The only thing is, man, I would love if there was some lefty-righty matchups here, but they're just not. Most of them is going to be right-handed batters against Jake Odorizzi. So let's open it up, Odorizzi, man, and see how he's been over his last few games. He's a very solid pitcher. 14 against Cleveland, 15 against Kansas City, 27 against Toronto, 19.5 against Miami. So he's been fairly consistent lately in his last 4 starts. Fairly consistent. And everything I said could go out the window, and he could destroy the Angels, but I just don't see it happen. I just don't see it happening. Trout is a god coming from Kaheem Jones. What's up, big homie? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. So taking a look at JC Ramirez at 7.3 in his last few starts, 12.7, 8.3, 8.9, 26.4, 27 against Oakland. Don't think you can go to JC Ramirez in this spot. I mean, I'm not super afraid of playing, cats against Tampa because we know that they are one of the league leaders in K rate. Actually, they do lead the league in K rate at 270. But you look at that ISO, man, 178 ISO. That means they can knock it around the yard. Woba at 329. That's not bad either. So I think, the strikeouts for this team is kind of an aberration, okay? What I do with the Angels would probably depend on what I see the touts pushing. Most definitely. Most definitely. Most definitely. So, in my opinion, I think you could definitely attack JC Ramirez with some of those left-handed bats. Most certainly. I'm gonna like some left-handers against JC Ramirez in the spot, and I don't love particularly Odorizzi. I don't like Ramirez at all. So Odorizzi will deserve a little bit of consideration because just because they went out and scored 12 runs today, everybody might want to be on the Angels, which would really take Odorizzi's ownership down. So I'm gonna take a look at this a little bit more in the line drive at 5. But those are my initial thoughts on this spot. This game we got would have been my favorite pitching game. Would have been my favorite pitching game on the slate because I think both of these pitchers could really ball out and see a low-scoring game. We saw what Pittsburgh was it Pittsburgh yesterday 1-0 game against Philadelphia, I think that was. So we could see a really solid pitching game, especially from Garrett Cole in the spot. But so we got the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Atlanta Braves. This game's going to be at SunTrust Field. 3-mile-per-hour wind, 57% chance of light rain in the spot. Man, the game is in red. It's probable to delay or rain out. So an 8-run total. This is going to be tough. You're taking a look at Garrett Cole at 9.7. If this game didn't have any rain delay, anything like that, I would definitely play Garrett Cole in the spot. You know why? Because this team, this Atlanta Braves team, I think they made a mistake with the identity going toward Freddie Freeman. If we think about some Atlanta Braves teams in days past, Chipper Jones, you look at whoever was that guy, the guy for the Atlanta Braves, and none of them have been as highly touted as Freddie Freeman. Like, Freddie Freeman is the Atlanta Braves. I mean, really. And during times past, the best thing about the Braves was their pitching rotation. You know what I mean? Like, they had like a group of aces that they all could rely on. Well, this team has kind of lost an identity, in my opinion, without Freddie Freeman. And I think that's why we've seen some of the recent struggles here. And so there's not guys that I would like, especially against Garrett Cole. And he is a guy who I love. I would love him in the spot if the game wasn't probable to delay or rain out. So we're going to talk about it anyway, okay? Yeah, this is one game I didn't want to be postponed at all because I liked Garrett Cole in the spot. I think Folowitz was definitely in a good spot because we know how bad the Pittsburgh Pirates have been batting lately. And then some of them are priced up. Josh Harrison 4K, Bell 4.2, McCutchen 4.2. I like both pitchers in this spot. I really did. But it's going to be very hard to look at this and play it when it comes to how much rain we're going to see. 57% chance of light rain in this spot, man. So hopefully something changes and we can get some information about that. But make sure you are aware. They just beat Washington 2 of 3 in their first series without Freddie. It's coming. Jeremy Ladd's a Braves fan. He had to correct me on that. But don't they just look different, though? They look different, bro. Without Freddie Freeman, they just look different. Especially in that game where he got hurt, man. They just look different. I don't know. It's hard to explain. So, next game we got is at 8:05. It is the San Francisco Giants and the Chicago Cubs. 13-mile-per-hour wind going out towards center field. So, we've got, just make sure we got the correct pitching. We got Ty Black and John Lackey. Lackey in his last start the start before last was pretty decent, man. Cincinnati, he only had 10.6, but against Colorado, 36.15, and that was in Colorado. So, 11.25, 12.1, 12.7. Not on Lackey at 9K. Not a guy that I am really considering. The one thing is the wind, with the wind blowing, and you got these Giants that are used to swinging out a big park. I think they can get to him in this spot, and I think I like a couple of the Giants guys. I'm gonna play some Giants guys in this spot. I really am. So looking at Ty Black, of course I don't like him. Lefty against a lot of Chris Bryant, yes. Chris Bryant, yes. Hap, yes. Zobrist, yes. Contreras. Like, this is where you're going to get a lot of value from when it comes to the cheaper guys. Like, whoever's playing catcher, like, you can get that from the Chicago guys. So I like this. Give me some Chicago bats today, most certainly. Maybe a one-off or maybe two from these San Francisco Giants. I like this. I don't like either pitcher in this spot. Don't like either pitcher in this spot. Too much wind, man. Next game we got is the Detroit Tigers and the Houston Astros. Shout out to Rhino DFS. The Houston Astros are on deck. So we've got Mike Fulmer and Brad Peacock are going to be on the mound here. 8.5 run total. Fulmer, man, 9.9K against Houston. No thanks. No thanks. I'm not doing that. No thanks. Yo, Josh Dew says he loves Greinke. He's just trying to find who his pitcher 2 is going to be. And that's going to be like what everybody is going to be thinking. Most definitely, bro. Most definitely. Edwin Neves, what's up, big homie? Good to see you, man. Glad you're in the spot, man. We just breaking down some games. That's right. 8.5 run total here. Fulmer at 9.9. Taking a look at him, man. 15, 28 against the Angels. 32 against Oakland. So against subpar teams that hadn't been batting very well, he's been getting it in. But taking a look at what he's been able to do against some of the better teams, Boston 17, not bad. The White Sox was the best game, 8.7 was there. So, Fulmer at 9.9 is not a guy that you have to be afraid of. He's really not. Now, which Houston Astros batting orders are you going to get? Which team are you going to get? Are you going to get the ones that, are going to be tearing the cover off of the ball, or you get the ones that strike out? So let's take a look at some Houston Astros to see where they rank, because they've been a really good disciplined team at the plate so far this season, man. They're 29th in K rate at 19%. Very good. They don't strike out a lot. They really don't. So taking a look at where they are as far as ISO goes. 6th in the league in ISO. Excuse me, 6th in the league at WOBA, at 335. That's very nice. Looking at their team ISO, middle of the pack, 13th with a 170 ISO here. So if you want to attack Michael Fulmer, I wouldn't have an issue with that. I wouldn't have any issue with that playing some of those guys against him in that spot. Not a problem at all. Brad Peacock at 5.7. This is going to be the first start of the year. Not a lot of information on him, but the Detroit Tigers, man. JD Martinez has been killing it. You look at Alex Avila, very solid couple of games you saw from him last time. So, I don't have an issue with a few of these guys. We want to attack Brad Peacock. Let's get some information on him, man. Let's see what's up with Brad Peacock. See what we can do with him. This is what this is about. And if anybody's got some in the Facebook VIP, let me know what you think about Peacock in this spot. Let's take a look. Let's see how he's pitched. All right. Six years, 5 years with Houston. He hasn't seen much. Yeah. We can play him. I mean, we can attack him, definitely. Let's go at Peacock with some of those Detroit guys. Yeah, he's been a reliever for a long time. All right, so 8.5 run total, man. Yeah, definitely. You got Peacock in 2 of 5 lineups. It's coming from Rudy. You are a Houston guy. Let us know what you think about Peacock, man. Rudy Herta, who is in Houston, a Astros fan, says he's got Peacock in 2 of 5 lineups. Might be something to take a look at. Okay. Last game we got. A good thing Edwin Neves walked in, because he is our resident Chicago White Sox enthusiast. Wonderful that he just dropped in, because we've got the Chicago White Sox going to Arizona, Chase Field, Coarse Light. And we're going to be playing against Zach Greinke, man, who has been really good lately. Greinke has been really good lately. So let's make sure we got Miguel Gonzalez and Zach Greinke. I want nothing to do with Miguel Gonzalez. Give me all the lefties in this spot for the Arizona Diamondbacks, plus throwing a little bit of Goldie in that spot too. It's going to be a 10-mile-per-hour wind in the dome, so all good. 34 dew point, 0% chance of rain. 100 degrees, going to be hot as shit. Chicago White Sox going to get shut down by Greinke. I can agree, and I think that Greinke is going to be the highest owned pitcher on the slate. And for that reason, I'm going to probably be 80% Greinke. But the other 20%, I'm going to stack some White Sox just to hedge. And I do that from time to time. Especially if I get the okay, if I get the nod from Edwin Neves to play some White Sox, I think I just might do that. Okay? It's hard to go 100% on any guy. And this is as close to 100% play as I could think of so far this season, looking at Zach Greinke and how well he's been pitching, especially at home, man. Let's take a look. Let's pop him open and see what he's been doing so far. All right, now at home. Last game at home against the Mets, 22, respectable at 11K. Okay? At home against Pittsburgh, 40 WAP. 40 WAP. Killed him. Okay? At home against Colorado, 20. At home against San Diego, 33. At home against Cleveland, 26. And at home the first game against San Fran, 11.65. So dude has been money at home. Money at home. His worst game of the season was against the Dodgers, and that was in L.A. Then he had, dude's been money. And he's going to be like the no-brainer play. And it's a Monday. And you know what happens a lot of times with the no-brainer play on Mondays. You know how the history of that. Okay? So, I'm going to play him a lot. I'm going to be all over him. I'm not lying. I'm not going to be all. But I am going to make a Chicago White Sox stack in honor of the homie Edwin Neves. I am. So, Miguel Gonzalez has been horrible. I hate him. Look at his last 5 games. 0.15, negative 1.95, 16.2, negative 5.5. Dude's been shitty lately. And I'm not going to play him. I'm going to be attacking him. Give us all of the Arizona Diamondbacks bats. Most notably, anybody that bats left-handed. We love those guys against Miguel Gonzalez. That is how we're going to be rocking. So we've got no issue there with playing a lot of those Arizona Diamondbacks bats. So a train's coming. I live on the wrong side of the tracks. It's all good. It's all good. Directed Petco, I always have them at home unless it's a true ace. So going back over it, man, just taking a brief recap of tonight's show and taking a look at the guys that we do like. Pitching didn't really jump out at us in some spots. I know we talked a little bit about maybe some Pineda against Kansas City because I think people are going to check out those BVPs and want to play Kansas City bats against Pineda. I think he's going to be somewhat of a contrarian play in the spot. We looked at how we don't like either pitcher from the Minnesota Twins or the Baltimore Orioles. We're going to be attacking those guys. Who else? Eckhoff is a guy that I'm kind of interested in the spot. Odorizzi was a guy who I think I might be able to get some use out of in his matchup against the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Garrett Cole, man, was one of my favorite pitching prospects on the slate, and I did have an affinity for Mike Folnowitz as well, but this game does have a possibility of delaying and or raining out. Didn't like either of the pitchers in the San Fran-Chicago game, at the Cubs game. Didn't like either of those guys. Michael Fulmer, good spot, I think. I think he can be in a good spot here, but Brad Peacock is a guy that you might want to take advantage of at low ownership and at low price at 5.7. So, just had a question about some White Sox. Take a look at what they do. Look at the White Sox K rate. Okay, they're 16th in the league, 21.1% K rate. That's not bad at all. That's the middle of the pack. They're all gonna be low owned, bro. You can guarantee that. You can guarantee that. Looking at the team WOBA for the White Sox, down at 24th, 307 team WOBA. Not great there. And we've got them as far as the team ISO here for the White Sox. That's going to be a little bit down as well. 23rd ranked in the league with a 150 ISO. So everything says point to Greinke. And on Mondays, man, that shit is crazy. So buyer beware. It's all good. The New York game and the Atlanta game are the major concerns when it comes to weather. Make sure that you're on that. And if you do want to take a look at the weather reports, man, follow Kevin Roth on Twitter. He does a really good job, I think, of reporting what's going on with the weather. So, of course, this has been your DFS Gurusdom, and you can follow me, of course, on at DFS Gurusdom on Twitter. Yo, I think I'm gonna hop on and jump into a little bit of MLB The Show. Let me know if you want to play, man. Let me know. I'm gonna be going in there and probably chopping it up. So this has been a very solid week, man. Very beautiful weekend. And first thing, yo, thank you for everybody in the shop, because while I was away, man, a few of you really stepped up, got involved, and were continue to help out while I was gone, man. I'm so happy about that, because where I was at, the internet sucked. It just totally sucked at the hotel we were at. It was the Intercontinental in Miami. The internet was bad. There was no way that I could have done a show there, right? And you know, the homie Rudy Hertz at Rhino DFS got involved, man. I saw you guys posting and talking to each other. A guy was like, yo, man, I really don't know what to do with baseball. And then everybody kind of jumped in. Samuel, I like to drum, did like a tutorial in the comments about how to research for MLB. So that was dope, man. The help that you guys give each other and me is like second to none. Second to none. So another shout out to the homie Sammy McGlure for inviting me out to Miami. Another big shout out to Mackenzie Fouth, who won the actual tournament, is going to be going to the NBA Finals. Shout out to her. Shout out to FanDuel. Wow. Shout out to NBA in Play. Shout out to DraftKings. Everybody here. Love you all, man. And I will be back with you. If you want to get into the line drive at 5, make sure you go ahead and get linked up on the website. Have a cup of coffee, man. 50 cents a day. That's all it takes. $14.99 a month. Easy. Go ahead and chop it up. Get in there, and I will allow you entrance into the Facebook VIP, where we chop it up in those couple of live streams. Also, our premium Slack chat, where you get to jump straight to the topic that you want to talk about, and you can chop it up there with no problem. So, yo, it's dope, man. It's fire, man. And I really want you, as many of you, to get involved as you wants to. So, oh, another thing, yo, I got to meet one of my favorite YouTube personalities, bro. Maverick was there. Mav came out and kicked it with us, man. Cool dude, man. He took a picture with me on his Snapchat and like tweeted me out or Snapchatted me out to all of his followers. Mav was the man, bro. Cool, man. I've been a follower of him for a long time. You know, he does a lot of game tutorials and stuff. So go check him out if you're not already. So awesome stuff. Thank you so much for all of the support and being so loyal to the shop, man. Y'all go out, have a very profitable Monday. Get your week started off right. Remember, the number one thing I want you to do in the shop, okay? Make some lineups in the turbo. Throw them bitches in the main. And keep it 300. Peace.